Risha Grant owns a successful diversity communications and consulting firm. With many awards and 18 years in the industry, this national speaker makes you comfortable discussing the uncomfortable. Get ready to learn about diversity and inclusion in this interactive, engaging, fun, and laid-back environment. Welcome to the stage, Risha Grant.
I'm a small-town, divorced ex-preacher's wife. I come from a loving but largely religious family. Some see me as a competitive, relentless ex-Division I basketball player, but my friends, they see me as an extremely loyal but conditional extrovert. I also happen to be a bisexual black woman, a serial entrepreneur, and a Catholic middle school basketball coach who runs a diversity consulting and communications firm in one of the reddest states in the nation. I am diversity personified. I do diversity differently. Diversity is usually presented as this huge, complicated concept. I just don't see it that way. Diversity is humanity. It's that simple. I believe that we have forgotten how to treat each other. And really the things that we need to learn are the things we learned already. We learned it when we were 5 years old. Now in the past 18 years, I have sat through many diversity seminars, diversity workshops, diversity speeches. Frankly, a lot of them were boring. I would look around and see people sleeping. I've created this dynamic workshop. It's fun, engaging, interactive. Most importantly, it is a no judgment zone. I designed Permission Granted to provide you with all the tools you need to deal with any diversity issues that arise. For the past 18 years, I have worked in diversity and inclusion, owning one of the only full-service diversity communications firm in Oklahoma, which, as you should know, is one of the reddest states in the nation. What I've learned is companies don't have diversity problems. They have people problems. I solve people problems. Permission Granted is a 3-part series. We have Permission Granted to build an inclusive culture. I teach you how to hire and retain diverse professionals, but also we look at your environment and whether or not that environment can intercept those diverse professionals. We've got to build an inclusive culture. Then we have Permission Granted to attract diverse markets. With that, we look at your products and services and how you can attract a diverse audience to purchase those products and services. Permission Granted to Get Rid of Your BS is the most popular workshop in the Permission Granted series. It deals with unconscious or implicit bias. I believe that bias is the root of almost all of the diversity issues that we face. Permission Granted provides a 3-step process. The process teaches you to identify, own, and move through your BS. Additionally, it just gives you permission to feel how you want to feel. And I'm going to provide you with the tools to move through that BS regardless of how screwed up it may be. BS, or bias synapse, was developed as a way to show you how your brain processes and validates bias. When we judge people based on how they look, their skin color, their age, their gender, whatever box you stuff them into, it really is BS. BS stands for bias synapse. So I came up with this term, and now let me take you back to 8th grade science for just a second. A synapse is how our brain communicates between brain cells, usually in one direction. That's how I feel we treat our bias. We think about people in one direction, which is usually negative. So I came up with a term called bias synapse, which is a play on the word she said, because it really is BS. It really is. So I'm going to share some of my bias with you guys. Honest conversation is my favorite part of the Permission Granted workshop because it's really interactive. I share my biases and get attendees to open up and share their biases as well. I make you comfortable discussing the uncomfortable. With this really cool paddle, people are engaged. I present different statements regarding diversity. They may be stereotypes, they may revolve around what's going on in the world right now, and people hold up this paddle depending on how they feel, and we start a conversation. As long as you respect what the next person is saying, we get to have an honest conversation. I feel like diversity and inclusion has become really convoluted. I look at it in the most simplistic way possible, which is humanity and competitive advantage. When I think about humanity, I think about grace, I think about understanding, acceptance. When I think about competitive advantage, it takes me to the business side and how all of the diversity, the uniqueness of who you are brings together those diverse experiences where you create innovation for companies. You provide them with that competitive advantage based on your experiences. We have to get back to what it is, and that's people. Diversity just is. It is our race. It is our religion. It is our sexuality. It is a disability if you have one. But it's also our thought processes, our clothing choices, our hairstyles. You know, diversity is what makes you unique. But inclusion takes all that diversity and brings it together. And that's where you gain a competitive advantage, not only for your company, but for yourself. Diversity rocks.